Is there a success? I hope so. Thank you, Marianne, for inviting me. And also, this is actually not the beginning, but this is the beginning, and that's all about waste, isn't it? Sometimes I feel like looking at biotrans is like looking on the cemetery, but don't look at the cemetery and at biotrans. The biotrans is like bringing stuff back to life, bringing important nutrition back to the soil. That's our main goal, and also making food waste into green energy. My name is Søren Pihl, and the reason why I'm here today is because during all my working life, I've been very focused on looking into the environment in everything we do. And through the beginning of 2000 to 2010, I discovered through time that something new was going on. We didn't sort the food waste the way we did before, and that was due to EU directive, actually. Then in 2012, I co-founded Biotrans together with another guy called Søren and Jens, and our goal was like, we looked at how do we handle food waste, because it wasn't sorted as a resource anymore. It was just thrown out for being incinerated, and I simply couldn't understand why. And we looked into why and had some possibilities. And we thought, but if those things are available, why is no one doing so? Because science said that waste had to be used for energy and reused, and we didn't have to do transportation in the sizes that we do, and it wasn't not good to take food waste and burn it because there's so much water in it. But we just continued doing so. And I think one of the reasons is not that we don't care. It's because we have the economy of doing something else, which is less expensive, and that's why we're doing so. And that's sad. So we thought, okay, if nobody's trying to change it, we just have to do it, because it's evident that food waste has to go to green energy, and in a decentralized way, because what for me is very important as well is bringing down transportation. That could be transportation of food bought for all these canteens and kitchens, but also the food and the transportation, bringing all that food from that place to the incineration or for making green energy. So we have to really have focus on reducing the transportation as well, and that's what we are trying to do. We are in the beginning, we just thought in 2012, we thought like being consulting, because we thought the whole chain was actually there, but we found out the only way we could make this kind of product innovation happening, which were much more expensive than the way you could just buy a bin, and then you were there, and you have to buy like 4,000 bins to have the money for our solution. So Søren and I went to work, and it took us around 9 months to sell the first product. And I'm happy to say that that customer actually had a mayor visit the other in December for having a 10-year anniversary. So still going strong, and that's what we really aim at. We aim at being together with our customers for many years, because we are not just selling a product, we are selling a circular idea of bringing food waste into energy and making fertilizer for the soil in a very environmental friendly way, in bringing down transportation, but also looking into working life and hors d'oeuvres, hygiene, and so on, working with the food loss and food waste, it's actually quite heavy. So we are working today together with many canteens and hospitals and elderly homes and airports and institutions and educational institution and so on, and many new buildings, but also a lot of existing buildings when we go in and find a solution on how we can make a solution for them. I'll show you a bit later on here how it's working. So we are working with both, as I said, better working environment, trying to take out, because it's very heavy lifting, working with loss and waste, food in general, but also reducing transportation, as I said, fertilizer, nutrients back to the soil, and making it economical, attractive for the companies and institutions, because that's the really important thing for them to choosing our product. I think any product that is in general and also environmental friendly, that it has to be a good business case for them. So that's very important. So how is it today? And it was a bit better before we started, but I'm sad to say we have these kind of like red and yellow and green light, where you today have 75% of all still going to incineration and with huge loss of energy and nutrition and a lot of transportation. We also now see a really good change into making bins, going to bioplants, but I'll just point out that there's some problems as we see it doing so, because it's still like kind of old way of looking at it as we see it, because it's still just bins, transportation, bringing out bins, transportation, and then we have to go now to a pre-treatment facility to using energy and water and so, and then bringing the food waste from that place to the bioplant. The way best sorting of any kind of waste is at the source, and that's why EU has now made plans for everything being sorting at the source. And we see, like, if you do like the yellow, you have a lot of different materials which is not food in food waste or food loss in the bin. If you do it directly at the source, it will be very clean if you do it in a good way. Then we are the only one actually allowed to drive the food waste directly to the bioplant. And we do that in a decentralized manner. So we always take it to the nearest bioplant. Like when you do in bins, you have a centralized. And looking back in history, we know that we have to go as decentralized as possible. So bringing down CO2 and transportation. So I'm sorry just to rush through it. I hope you will visit our website at another time. But what we are doing is actually the whole chain of this, because as I said early on, why does the big companies don't invest in technology in this kind of the chain? And that's because it's pretty expensive. But it has a really good return on investment. But you have to handle the whole chain of this. That will say we will we will buy or not buy. We will install a biomaster when the company buys it. That's a grinder in the kitchen, and then we will make a pipe directly to the collecting tank situated in either the building or in the earth. Then we will, through an IoT system that we have developed, where we measure the level of the collecting tank, and when it's filled, there will be a sensor to our IoT platform, and then we will transport the biomass directly to the bioplant. Then the customer, will get a green diploma on how much food waste they collected. So then we have the whole chain, and the reason to go, the motivation for the customer. It's all about, as Nicholas showed, making a show of result to get a more sorting of food waste. So this is like actually sorted food waste, and the reason why I show this is not to be impressed, that's for sure, but it is actually real sorted food waste, and it has a lot of plastic, and that's the reason why I will show it to you, because that's the reason why we should have a focus on not doing bins, in my opinion, if possible, because doing by grinders, we can get a very clean biomass, and we can remove the particles of microplastic from going to the soil, and that's really important, not to build up a new problem. Actually, it's improved in Denmark, and I know other countries as well, that for every ton of dry matter food waste we have delivered at the bioplant, it is allowed to have 5 kilos of plastic inside it. That will say you can fill up 1 square meter. And I don't think that's satisfactory. So that's why I'm focused on another chain. It's not to sell machines. It's to sell a chain, a circular idea of getting food waste back to energy and fertilizer to the soil. And as I told you earlier on, we have different ways of doing so. We worked since 2012, so we have been hopefully getting clever all the way, and getting more and more efficient in different ways of handling. So we have a lots of possibilities, even to build a tank inside a room if standard tanks is not possible. Otherwise, you can take it to the soil, as you see on the side, and many choose that in new building, but it's often not possible in existing buildings. But all kinds. There's no odor. It's a closed system, so there's more odor with having bins or having in incinerated collecting. But you could say one tank is normally less the size of how much space you have for collecting waste for 1 week or a couple of days. You have it for like we collect perhaps every 5th or 6th week. So you have a huge period where you just collect and don't transport. So we reduce the transportation to these like 80% we reduce it by. What is really important, and perhaps I should talk with Nicholas afterwards, because what I think is it's important to have these small bins on 5 wheels in the kitchens. That's the most important solution, I think. And then you can roll it around, taking out the heavy lifting in the kitchen, because what is not really appeared is that you have around 100,000 kilos in many large scaled kitchen, 100,000 kilos of waste just moving around. That's really much. So yeah, that's a possibility for bringing down the heavy lifting as well, and doing better environment for the chefs. different kind of solution. And as I said, we built an IoT platform where you have all the handling services and emptying, and that's it's really that is our solution, you could say. That's making it easy all the way around due to an intelligent collecting and servicing of the food waste for larger scaled companies or just kitchens, you could say. It's why don't they do it else? Because it's not made easy. So lots of different arguments to doing so, but I think most importantly, you heard a lot early on saving food, and that's what we would prefer naturally, but it's underestimated that only in Denmark we have 900,000 tons of waste. So it's really important that we do an effort here, and as well that we do an effort to bring down the transportation of it. That's if you look at why doing bio plant and biogas instead of incineration, it's actually 16 times more better, has a 16 times less impact on the environment, so it's very important. But the 50% of that impact from both of them comes from transportation. So that's why I'm telling so much about transportation. A newcomer for us, now we are looking into to building small 40-foot containers to making energy and heat just outside in the backyard of the customers, so that the loss perhaps is made into the hot water that they use in the kitchen. So we have a circular just with the customer and no transportation, and then the possibility of making organic food waste, which is perhaps something we will enjoy. So I don't look into the numbers of it, that goes out by the slide, so that's fine. But yeah, I think Marianne will have me to stop. So yeah, please visit our website and yeah, get back to us.
Thanks a lot, Søren, for super nice presentation again, and it's super interesting with your container solution in the end.